excited to be joined by our co-founder and CEO, Erin Papworth. Erin, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to talk with me about specifically ethical tech today. I was wondering if you could start out by just defining ethical tech and what that means.
Yes, thank you for having me, Parker. And it's such a passion point for me and the work that we do. So I'm really excited to talk to you about it. Ethical tech for us is really looking at a humane tech perspective, and how do we really put humans at the center of everything we design, not only from a design perspective and like how the product is created and user interaction, but really in like what the business goals are. Our business goals and our incentives aligned with the financial health of our end consumer, and how are we building in a way that is really thinking about potential secondary consequences and mitigating as much as possible. We can't prevent everything, but mitigating as much as possible kind of secondary and consequences to what our product is offering.
Yeah, that's great. That makes total sense. Why would you say in fintech, especially, but just in tech in general, it's essential to keep ethics in mind?
Oh, I mean, I think the last 10 years have showed us what's happened, not only to our society, but to our political situation and to us as individuals, of what technology has, how it has impacted us in such phenomenal ways and also such dangerous ways. I think that thinking about it from an ethical perspective gives us that kind of lens into, are we building a business that's sustainable for right now and for society in the future? And it's a new way of thinking. Businesses and the way we are kind of incentivized to build businesses is always about profit and creating, scalable, especially in technology, hyper scalable, trillion-dollar businesses now. Some of them just hit the $2 trillion mark lately, and that's okay, and that's a good thing. It creates very efficient processes. It allows innovation to occur in really profound ways, especially in this country, and we have benefited from that. But I think it's kind of the second wave of technologists that have seen, okay, while building and kind of taking over the world was the first primary objective. Now we are seeing so many consequences to that have changed society, have created a really strong mental health crisis in our country and globally, have created divisiveness. And now it's time to kind of step back and say, okay, we have the prototype of how to scale technology, how technology can affect the world. Now, moving forward, how do we use that technology to create better systems and think about what our social impact is, as much as our business model.
That makes perfect sense too. My last question for you is just, what are you excited about when it comes to building ethical tech? As you talk about the issues in the past, and we think about where we stand at Navit and where we go from here, is there anything you're passionate or excited about?
Yes, and I think I didn't answer part of the other question you had, was about why financial technology is so important. Yeah. So I'll wrap that into this answer, because for me, finances are the key to people living healthy, sustainable lives, right? You have mental health that I think is highly important. You have environmental health, and then you have financial health. And for us, looking at this ethical lens when working with people's finances and trying to create an environment where they approach finances in a way that isn't just kind of the old stereotypical, do what you're told, save for retirement, you need to make more money, or, you're managing all these kind of finance-driven conversations. For us, there's this bigger conversation about how do you engage with your finances? How are you thinking about it? What are your environmental impacts? What is your kind of money story, with the history, the engagement you've had with money, and how does that impact your finances? And all of that is really sensitive subject. So ethics have to be involved in how we build a product around that, because we're trying our best to create a safe environment where people can be vulnerable, can think about their finances, can think about money differently, share with each other and learn from others. So it's just imperative that that's core to when we talk about financial health and wellness, we're thinking in an ethical approach.
That makes total sense. Thank you so much for joining me today. And it was great to talk about these important issues with you.
Thank you for having me.